You're listening to the Seven Figure Leap podcast. We're here to leverage rich relationships and smart strategies to take your business to the next level. Here's your host, Dustin Riechmann.
You do want to maximize referrals. So how do you do that? So step one, and this is the 80-20, this is the most important aspect of having consistent, high quality referrals, and that is specificity. Okay, I think the trap that most people fall into when they think about proactively generating more referrals is they fall into this mindset of like, if I'm too specific in who I'm looking to be referred to me as a client, then I will miss out on opportunity, right? Because if I draw the boundaries and I keep it real narrow, then that's limiting in some way, right? And I can understand that. However, the reality is if you stay broad and generic in your ask, you won't get anyone, right? So to kind of paint a picture for this and bring it home, let's say I'm having some issues at my house and I say, hey, network, I'd really like a referral to a handyman, let's just say a repairman in St. Louis, right? So all the people that I put that in front of, their brain will lock up and they'll think, I don't know who to refer. I probably have encountered many handymen in the St. Louis area, especially if I live in St. Louis. And so that's an example of how often coaches will ask for referrals. It's like, I'm looking for people I can help with business, right? It's like, well, there's so many options that our brains literally can't access any individual names. If I change that and I say, I'm looking for a reputable family-owned company that repairs air conditioners in my neighborhood here in Glen Carbon, Illinois, where I live, well, now I can get really good referrals, right? I can send a text out to friends in the neighborhood. I can put it in a Facebook page in our community. And because it's so specific, everyone can access the best people that they've had experiences with this specific issue, right? They're like, oh yeah, 2 years ago, I had someone come out and repair my air conditioner and they serve this area. Like, here's their name. I'm going to send you a text and connect the two of you. Like, those things happen. They go into motion because of specificity, right? So an example in our own business, at a high level, we do business coaching, right? And if I said, hey, I'm Dustin, I'd love any referrals that you can give me for business coaching. Even as I say that, you're probably like, yeah, I ain't got nobody, right? Like, there's no way I can give you a specific referral because it's way too broad. But if I say specifically, I'm Dustin, I work with coaches and consultants who are running six-figure businesses, largely on referrals, and they have a story to tell. And I want to help them use podcast guesting as a way to grow their coaching business, right? Or even more specific, I want to help someone use podcast guesting to launch their book. Now your brain starts to access, who have I met? Who am I in community with? Who's in my masterminds? Who are my clients who are launching a book this year, who I think would actually really love the idea of podcast guesting as a way to grow their coaching business. That is way more effective because it's way more specific, right? So number one here is be specific. So the cool thing about specificity is you can also be specific at different times in different ways, right? So you're not locked into only ever working with, in this example, coaches who are launching a book. Like, I can next quarter, if it's a different focus, say, hey, I'm looking for coaches who host a podcast who are not getting the results they're looking for from that podcast. And I want to help them use podcast guesting as a way to grow their podcast and ultimately get them more clients for their coaching business, right? Or I'm looking for health coaches in Illinois who are looking to expand their footprint online and they have a great story to tell and they would like to use podcast guesting as a way to grow their health coaching business in Illinois. Each of these specific examples provides an actual way for our brains to access referrals. And even if someone like just loves you and would love to connect you with the best people, if you're not specific, they can't. That's the big lesson here.